Welcome to episode 3 of Building Endor. In this week's episode we're going to be building the last base plate of the first quarter of Endor, then we'll get into a short minifigure unboxing, then I'm going to be building the trunk of this round tree and also showing you the technique behind it, then we'll get into a 30-second dramatic edit and then we'll finish out with the outro. So let's get into all that and more right now, guys. So here I'm building the kind of muddy walkway which is going to run right across the entire build. This particular bit here is going to lead to the bunker, and that's going to be the centerpiece of the build where the main battle takes place. So something that I never mentioned before is that every single one of these 32 by 32 base plates takes about 3 hours to build. I think this is because the landscaping that I do uses all sorts of different shapes and sizes of plates to get that nice kind of naturalistic effect. Endor is actually 3 bricks high in places. I think that's the main reason why it's taken longer than some of my previous builds. One of my mates from my college course mentioned that if I add timestamps to my videos, then I could add kind of chapters to them. And this will make it easier if you're rewatching a video for a certain bit or just to navigate through them. So now we're going to get into an unboxing of some figures. So I bought these off a LEGO Facebook group. They're all worth about £2 each and that's what I paid. I prefer to buy off Facebook as sellers normally know what stuff is worth and that the condition affects the price. On eBay you might get better deals, but the condition might be worse. Plus the seller can hide behind the fact that they put used condition in the description. This is annoying, as say one of the figures has a couple of bite marks, then it would probably halve the value of it. So getting into the figures, here I've got a couple of the newer Hoth Rebel from Empire Strikes Back. And I've also got 3 of the newer Snowtrooper. These guys have been released in the last couple of years. I'm not sure exactly when, but they look a little bit better, a little bit more refined than when I was a kid. And then we've got one of the older Hoth Troopers. I wanted to get just one of these so I could figure out if I wanted more or not. And then I've got a newer pilot, I think he is, not quite sure, but I thought he might come in useful in a Hoth scene. And now we're getting into the figures that I bought for Endor. So here I've got 2 of the newer R2-D2s. So because I don't actually collect Star Wars Lego, I'm trying to source some of the main characters. And finally we've got a couple of Endor Rebels. So you may be wondering why I bought figures from Empire Strikes Back. And this is because at some stage in the future I'm going to build the Battle of Hoth. As it takes a couple of years to accumulate the figures and parts for a build for a good price, I have to think years ahead when planning my builds. Now we're going to get into a time lapse of me building a round tree, which is more complicated than it sounds. So it took about 2 hours of tinkering to get this tree how I wanted it. It's not quite as relaxing as when I'm building landscapes, but I enjoyed the challenge. When I was re-watching The Return of the Jedi, I saw that most of the trees were round and really tall. So I tried a couple of different techniques, and this is the one that I settled on. It's actually a kind of modified version of the one used in the Ideas treehouse, but I didn't have quite the same parts used in that. So I had to improvise a bit, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So I'm now going to explain how this was built. So these are the parts that you're going to need. So you're going to need 24 of these, 12 of these, a load of these, although they don't have to be round, and then 8 of this guy. I've put the Britlink names for these parts, as if you don't already own them, then that would be a good place to order them from. So this is what the inside of the tree looks like, and this is a closer look at one of the bits that connects the kind of corner parts. I found that the hardest part of the build process was connecting the 2x16 plates, and as you can see here it took a little while and it was quite fiddly. Luckily though it was a bit easier to attach the 4x16 bits. So that is the best technique that I've found for building a round tree. If you know any others then let me know in the comments. So now we're going to get into the dramatic edit of the build so far. Thanks for watching episode 3 of Building Endor. In next week's video I'm going to be building 3 more base plates, another tree and also an entire Ewok village to go over the top of the 2 trees. So you can look forward to that. Endor has now got too big for my other desk, so I am going to have to destroy Mirkwood behind me to be able to relocate Endor to this table to keep making it bigger. And that will be pretty sad, but it's had enough time out now and it's been a good backdrop, and there's enough of Endor now to be a good backdrop for my other videos. Let me know in the comments if you liked how I explained how this was built, and I'll make sure that I do kind of future explanations of techniques in future videos. Please like, comment and subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already so you don't miss episode 4. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.